I have been in the pipeline industry since 1966 and was introduced to cathodic protection by an engineer of a major international cathodic protection service company. I was given an AVO analog multimeter with an internal resistance of 50k ohms per volt. I'm told to connect the negative pole to the stud on the side of a concrete cathodic protection test post at the side of a country road. I was told to connect the positive pole of the meter to a piece of copper in a tube full of copper sulfate solution that had a porous plug at the bottom with which I was to make contact with the ground. I was to note the voltage readings shown by the position of the needle. I travelled the length of the pipeline section making these measurements at all test posts which I could find access and returned the form to the engineer at the end of the day. He made a new form with new readings that he said would satisfy the client more. He lent me a copy of Peabody's, a book that he said was the Bible of cathodic protection, so that I could study as I carried out my work. I read and tried out everything in this book, but found that nothing resulted in predictions. I then carried out my own experiments and made models of the equivalent circuits suggested in the book, as well as equivalent circuits that reacted in the same way as I found in the field. The thing that worried me was that when I moved the copper-copper sulfate electrode, even though it was connected to the same pipe, the readings on the meter changed. And this was connected to the same position in the pipe, but it was the copper-copper sulfate position that was changing. And this didn't agree with the suggestion that the copper-to-copper sulfate was a reference potential against which we were comparing the pipeline potential. It seemed to me that the pipeline potential was constant and that the copper-copper sulfate potential was the side of the meter that was variable. This thought prompted me to study cathodic protection theory and practice in detail, and that I have done for over 30 years.